Samuel Leeds is one of Britain's most successful property entrepreneurs. A high-flying investor, a best-selling author, and founder of a leading property education company, Samuel is recognised as one of the brightest young stars in British business. Following his meteoric rise to success, by becoming a multi-millionaire in his 20s, Samuel is in the elite echelons of UK property investors. Over the next 5 weeks, 13 budding property entrepreneurs will be battling it out to prove that they are the ultimate property investor. The prize? £20,000 of Samuel's cold hard cash to kickstart one candidate's property journey. This is The Eviction. Previously on The Eviction.
You'll have to find and secure a no money down property deal.
I know that I've been in the losing team twice. The only person here to have done that.
The property was a dump.
Don't tell me what to do. I love dogs!
Please come in.
Yes! Will we talk to over $1 million? Get to the crash course! You're evicted, off you go. So, with regret, you're evicted. Okay. Up until this point, you've demonstrated that you can sell, that you can refurbish houses, and that you can secure no money down deals, which is fantastic. So congratulations, you're in the semi-finals. You have previously been working as a group where you can hide behind each other and things are a little bit easier. Today that changes. I need to know who is worthy of winning my £20,000 cash prize. So this challenge is when you'll be putting together your business plan, and today Russell and Alistair are going to be overseeing you do that, ready for when I'm going to bring in two of the country's top business analysts who are going to go over your business plans with a fine-tooth comb, and they'll separate the good and the bad, ready for the boardroom where three of you will be evicted.
So, like never before seen in any TV business show ever, the candidates will have to compile a business plan to demonstrate to a group of successful business people how they'd spend the £20,000 if they were to win the competition, and hopefully we'll get to watch them get absolutely ripped apart.
So, you know the challenge, you've got to put together your business plans. There is not a time limit for this until Monday morning at 9 AM. However, you cannot leave the castle until your business plans have been handed in, whether that's today, tomorrow, or the day after. Before we get started with this, we want to take you through the basic steps of what we're expecting from you for your business plan. I want to make sure the business plans look as good as possible, and I don't want to see you guys getting ripped to shreds.
I do.
So sit back and relax as Russell and Alistair talk us through how to create a business plan. In the last episode, Hannah's team secured over £1 million worth of property with no money down. In this episode, we get to watch a Brummie and a Scotsman drivel on about businessy words and stuff. Probably peaked a bit too soon, didn't we?
Document that they're going to get bored reading. Next, make sure that it is reality. The figures and the plan, it needs to be realistic. If you're over-optimistic, they'll see it and then they won't trust you.
People have a tendency when they're trying to sell something to always do what Russell just said. They always go very, very high on the figures. Be super conservative. When I package a deal up to sell to an investor, I always go super conservative on rental income, i.e. I always say it's lower than it actually is, and refurb, I always say it's higher than it is.
I think by putting this at the top, Russell is insinuating that being professional is the most important point in all of this, in which case I'm pretty much guaranteed to be out of a job, aren't I?
Have a front cover, maybe have a page numbers, an appendix so they know what's going on. Make sure that it looks good, looks the part, no spelling mistakes.
Do you know what we're looking for? We're looking for something that's going to stand out. We're not looking for somebody that's just read a book and said, oh, I'm going to buy HMO, or I'm going to run a service accommodation. We're looking for something that's going to take property and do something unique with it. How are you going to spend the 20,000? We want a breakdown to the pound of how you're going to spend that money. Don't include any salaries in that because you're not getting paid out of this. This is purely a business investment. A lot of time I see people that do business plans. They have they go to an investor and they ask for £80,000 and 25 of that's for their salary, and they get laughed out the boardrooms. Don't do it.
Yeah, the finance is the big one, really.
I think it's
the finance is the big one. How much is the return on investment going to be? How much are you guys going to make from this process after 1 year, 2 year, 3 years? I would do a 3 year.
I would do 3 years.
I would do a 3 year plan for this. And then finally, big one. You're going to do a SWOT analysis. Do we all know how to do that? Does anyone not know what that means?
Anthony, do you know how to do it? Can you explain?
So SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats.
See, we're learning. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Next time your mum bollocks you for watching YouTube, tell her, Mum, I'm learning over here. Still, that doesn't explain why Russell writes so lopsided it's as if he's just walked off the waltzers.
I know them anyway. We've been working with you for the last 2 weeks. So being honest in there makes us at least know you're aware of it. So I would say this is crucial. And also, you're thinking outside the box. If things don't go to plan, what could possibly happen? What are the threats? What opportunities might arise?
Katie, the lady that John borrowed £2,000 from to secure his serviced accommodation deal in the last episode, is about to receive a shock as he tells her that he's sending her the money back.
And how's it going?
Good, yeah, thanks, yeah, everything's good. You know, you sent the money across yesterday. I just want to say, what we've been doing is, it's like a property challenge.
Oh, right, okay.
Right. And obviously, because you helped us by sending it across, we managed to win this challenge. So we've done. The deals do exist, what I was talking to you about, but they're in Derby City Centre. I'll run through the details with you, but I'm not really into serviced accommodation, so we're going to send you the money back. But we also wondered if you wanted the deals.
Right. Well, you have to obviously let me know more about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I'll run through them. This is what I'm saying. I'll run through it with you.
Well, I just need to have a little bit of a think now, because I thought, obviously, if we were in it together, you knew, like, the area and Derby and things, whereas I've not obviously done any due diligence at all on Derby.
Pretty much destroyed that relationship now, haven't you, John?
We're more than happy to help you set it up and everything.
Right.
We've discussed it,
okay,
yeah.
When do you need to know my decision?
Whenever you feel comfortable. It's not massive urgent. I know it's obviously a bit of a start of the blue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's just obviously you've got the figures, you've got the an idea of what it is. Just have a think. I'll send you the money back right away.
So, after getting some marginally stellar advice from Russell and Alistair, the guys are tasked with writing their business plans as if they were setting up their property businesses for real. Don't worry, they actually spent 72 hours doing this, and showing you the whole lot would be as uncomfortable and painful as the time I had to go to hospital because I got a Lego brick stuck up my bum. Anyway, let's have a chat with the guys and see what property businesses they're looking to create.
I'm thinking of doing a option where I want to get a property, use the 20k to add value to it and refinance it in rent. Now, I don't think it'll be a lease option because I need the property empty, and the rent while the work's going on, it doesn't matter about that rent because I'll get a bigger return if I do add more value. So I just want to make sure that I'm on the right path and I'm not going in there shooting myself in the foot. So I just wanted to get...
I've got a feeling that he is going to shoot himself in the foot. I'm already feeling it from the start of this conversation.
Yeah, let's have a listen. What
you can feel that. Well, I'm fairly confident I know what my vision is. I wanted to get some expert advice, but you've come up as well, so I'll get yours. So the development, what I'm thinking is finding a commercial property to turn into luxury apartments. So with the 20 grand I've got, with this specific challenge, I want to show that I can utilise different strategies to raise the finance, to do the development with the money that I raise. So I want to implement certain different things. So instead of just going straight into the development with 20 grand and raising it off someone else, I want to use creative ways to raise it on the journey.
All right. What are you going to use the 20 grand for?
Yeah, I'm confused as well.
Okay, so the 20 grand. So these are my ideas.
If you articulate it like this in the business plan,
you're going to get ripped.
So hold on, let's just get his plan before we worry about how he articulates it.
No,
At the moment, I've got no idea what his plan is.
That's what I'm trying to say. Assume the person that you're going to be, the business analyst that's coming here, they're not property experts. They're business analysts.
Okay.
So they're going to be looking at a business plan as a business plan. A lot of what you're saying to me is you're assuming
Jargon,
that we know
mate.
knowledge.
It's jargon.
It's jargon.
Okay.
So you're a bit of waffle and a bit of jargon.
Do you want me to tell you what I would?
Jolly, you got it.
Do you want me to tell you what I would actually do if I wouldn't do a sourcing business? I mean, you can do a sourcing business. But do you want me to tell you what I would do if I were you? I would set up a letting agency that pretty much just did rent to rents. So you'd find people that wanted to rent their house out, and you would manage it for them, and you would do them as rent to rents. I'd run that as a business, and then in your plan, use the profits you're making from that to invest in property. Okay. Because you're more of a rent to for me. That's what you've done. So when you're going through, have you done deal sourcing?
Yeah, I've sold a couple of deals.
Oh, have you? Okay, well you could do deal sourcing, but I would go one or the other. You could. 20 grand isn't enough to really do much if you're just using it to invest.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be creative to make the most out of the 20 grand.
Okay.
I've got loads of ideas. I feel like I've got too many ideas and I need to really sort of pick the stronger points. But I'm thinking focusing it on the current business that I've got, systemizing it, rebranding it and separating it into the different avenues that we're going down, and just keep growing it, because we've grown so much in the last 6 months. So in the next 1 to 3 years, it's going to be crazy how much we can grow, especially with the 20 grand. We don't feel like we can scale the essays until we've put money in to systemize and make sure the essays we've got are fully up and running properly, and then we can move on to get more projects on the go. Yeah. And again, we've got ideas for that.
So you've got two aspects. You've got the rent to estate and the deal sourcing. You kind of want to do both.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you going to use the 20 grand for?
Rebranding, marketing, advertising, and updating the systems. Kind of like just having a really professional procedure.
So you saved how much on the marketing and the rebranding and all that?
I don't know. I've got a contact who I've arranged a phone call with on Sunday to talk about that.
So what do you want to do? How are you planning on marketing?
I think I'm going to need to do some research on that.
Okay.
Because it's not something that I'm familiar with.
Who are you going to market to?
Potential investors.
That's what you're looking for?
Yeah.
For your deal sourcing?
Yeah, to sell deals to. So people that would be interested in this kind of thing, getting the name out about what we do and how it works. Because a lot of people don't understand deal sourcing unless they're in the property world. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that we know and speak to who have money, who would be interested in this kind of thing, don't get it properly.
There's a lot of deal sources.
I know.
How are you going to stand out? Well,
that's why I want to be a step above with the rebranding and making our image more professional, because I feel there is a gap for a more professional kind of company to make sure that everything is properly set up and there's a system in place.
I'm a little bit nervous about my business plan because I think I'm a bit in my head at the minute with it. My initial thoughts on the business plan are to go with a strategy where I can utilise the money to create more money. So whether this be a model to look for investors and actually go down the JV route on some properties, and then I could look at things like buy, refurbish, refinance or HMOs and try to build a portfolio of houses using investors where we both make money from it.
My plan is to use the money to build a multi-million pound property portfolio.
That sounds like a good plan. He's actually just written that plan to build a multi-million pound property portfolio. What a great start.
Yeah, alright, how the heck are you going to take 20 grand to multi-million pound?
So my business model for this is to do it in stages. So to start off with doing standard buy-to-lets as a JV.
What are you going to do with this 20 grand?
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it to do marketing to build my brand so that I can...
So you want £20,000 to market yourself?
Not just to market, no.
What else?
So if I'm gonna get into a project which might be a buy, refurbish, refinance, then I can because I've got funds, then I can put something towards it with the investor, so that I'll build trust with them and help me grow quicker.
So if you get funds, if this is not meant to be if, this is a plan. The thing is, you need to make, this is a business plan. This isn't like, I was saying this to some of the others. It's not about trying to come up with the most clever strategy. Like, at least you've simplified it a little bit. So your business is buy, refurbish, refinance. So your plan is to buy properties, pull your money out, and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll start renting those out, and that's how you're going to make your cash flow.
Yeah. What I don't want to do though is put all of the money into one house, because I could use that money to basically buy one house.
Yeah.
But then that money's going to potentially be sat in there for 6 months.
If I won the £20,000, what I would do with the money is I would give 10% of it to charity, and then the rest of it will be going into setting up a business on sourcing. So I'll be setting up a sourcing company. I'd obviously have to get compliant with the sourcing company.
Right, sorry folks, I've got to interject here. It's all very drivelly and not very exciting, is it? Apologies to John and Hannah, but let's move on to the next segment and watch some of these get their business plans ripped apart and their character assassinated, shall we? Yeah. The first of our business mentors smells something fishy in the air. He's as fierce as a shark, moves with the tide, will reel the candidates in, cast away any terrible ideas and nail any of them that flounder. His tentacles are primed. It's Rex McCrill! I can't take the mick out of our second business analyst because he's built a huge property empire and is worth a bloody fortune by building children's entertainment and soft play centres. A ridiculously shrewd property investor with a clearly banging tailor. It's James Sinclair. And last but not least, Alistair Cunningham.
Hello.
Hi, James.
Ricky, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, Ricky, I've got this plan here. I haven't read it. I don't know anything about you. I know what the challenge is. I know what the eviction is. Samuel's filled me in on that. I've done a lot of property stuff myself. Friends of Samuel's, and I realise that I'm going to be waiting on where he's going to be giving someone £20,000 of his hard-earned cash for a property investment. So I haven't read this. I want you to tell me now why you should be getting that £20,000, and then I'll go for this to back up what you've said.
So the business plan that I've got is based around service accommodation. It's a service accommodation lettings agency.
So between £200 and £300, depending on the property, to manage it. And you're going to fill it up, and you're going to turn up, get new tenants in, leave tenants out because it's serviced accommodation.
Yeah.
So you're going to basically run someone's hotel for them for £200 to £300 a month.
Correct. The reason I
How can you make any money out of it?
Well, I debated doing percentages, but the reason I didn't was because...
I'm just asking, how are you going to make any money out of that?
Because we're operating in 3 different areas.
What I'm asking, not the area, I'm asking how are you going to make a decent amount of cash out of £200, because there's loads of work in doing this serviced accommodation and stuff. I just want to know how you're going to make money out of that. How many are you going to... It's a lot of work for £200 a month, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, mate, I wouldn't give you £20,000 to make £1,000 a year when I know you can make £4,000 and get £12,000. I just think, what is wrong with this bloke?
Okay, you heard the brief. Create a business plan that you're going to implement with the £20,000. Keep it short and simple. I count 38 pages. That doesn't follow the brief of keep it short and simple.
So I saw yesterday that James Brokenshire is going to plans to change the no-fault evictions. And that's going to be the biggest shake-up for the private rental sector for a generation. How is that going to impact your business?
So, I mean, obviously that could impact it, especially in terms of having occupied properties. I mean, personally,
my plan is based on a serviced accommodation unit to a serviced accommodation plan to use as a cash cow to basically invest money elsewhere. So the idea is that I've got 5 units in Cambridge that I'm due to secure shortly. I intend to basically take both a passive income out of there and a savings pot. So the passive income will help me live, and the savings pot will accumulate wealth together to carry out step 2 of my plan, which will be to refurbish my house and pull out some money from my own residence. And then once I've done that, I'll continue to use the money as savings for step 3 of my plan, which will be then to have a large pot of money come the end of the 3 years to invest in a buy-to-let portfolio.
So do you work in property full time now?
I do, but I've only literally done it for the past 6 weeks.
What did you do before that?
So I was a qualified solicitor.
What sort of solicitor?
So I worked in mortgage repossessions.
Oh wow.
5 to 10 houses would be more than efficient to cover what I need per month. I probably only need 3, to be honest, to live off what I need at the moment, to be conservative, but thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thanks, James, appreciate it. Thank you.
So far she gets my money. I mean, if you was a bank manager, you just like, oh, you're a qualified solicitor, here you go, wouldn't you? Hannah was good. I struggled to find some faults in her. She's a qualified solicitor. She's, you know, very professional. She's astute. She knows her numbers. She knows what she wants her future to look like in 5 years. Always the sign of a successful person. You know, I said, what do you want to do in 5 years? I want to have this amount of properties in this area, in this golden triangle, bang, 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 bang. And that just shows me someone that really knows what they want to do. There's a reason she's doing this. So it's when I think about it, the company she is today is a serviced accommodation company, but the company she really wants to be that's going to allow her to do that is have a property business that she owns with single lets, which is an easier life. She knows what she wants to do. She's going to achieve it. Smart. I liked her a lot.
Your return on investment in year 1?
For this business plan, 6%.
6?
Yes.
Modest. Can I, is it in here?
It's not in there. It's not in the business plan. I've got the profit margins in there, but the return on investment in year 1 will be 6%. The profit margin is going to be 8%, and it goes to 79% in year 2, and then over 80% in year 3.
So I've just spoke to the other candidates, and their return on investments are like in 3 figures. Does that not worry you?
Not at all.
Are you confident on your numbers?
I'm confident on my numbers.
Yes, it done. Cheers. Right. Okay. Let's just go through where you are, where you want to be. I haven't read through this, so I just want you to tell me exactly why you should take £20,000 of Samuel's hard-earned cash for your business.
£1,000 going to be spent on hotels and travel. So if I'm obviously networking with investors further afield from home, I'm going to need to spend some money on hotels and things like that. Sort of not exactly Facebook ads, but you know, things. I don't think I'll be using Facebook ads to start with, but I would be later. But things like that. So basically generating the leads necessary.
And the rest?
The rest, I think it's about £21.60 for the Sage accounting software. What I'll need for 3 months of use.
You don't know, do you, John?
I do know that. It's £7.20 per month.
We're talking about £20,000.
Yeah, but I'm breaking it down slowly for you.
Well, Christmas is coming, so I understand the £21 a month for Sage. Unbelievable.
So looking at your financial projections,
yes,
I don't understand them.
Okay.
Simple as that. In particular, I don't understand why the costs drop in year 2 and then jump up in year 3.
Yeah.
And it's not obvious to me what the financial projections are based on.
Okay. Would you like me to justify?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I've done with year 1, the reason it drops in year 2 is because in year 1 I've factored in the start-up costs as well that are ongoing. So accountancy fees, stuff like that, I've factored that into year 1, as well as the immediate start-up costs. In year 2, they dip a little because some start-up costs aren't in year 2, and then they go up again in year 3 because the more properties we take every year, the more it will cost us as a company to use the channel management system.
Right.
So that's why they kind of go up, down, up. But after year 3, they'll continuously, the outgoings will be increasing every month because of the more properties we take on.
Okay.
Yes, there is some marketing in there, I'm not going to lie, some brand strategy.
How much?
£3,000 on brand strategy and marketing.
£3,000 on brand strategy and marketing. What does that mean?
You'd have to ask my marketing guy. I've spoke a lot about where we want to go.
So if I took £3,000 off of you,
yeah,
and just went, you'd have to speak to my person, my brand guy. Is that strong enough?
Sure, I see what you're
Do you
saying.
know how hard it is to make £3,000?
Yeah.
And how to get
I do.
£3,000 together?
But I believe in giving money to the right people. So you don't have to do everything, but if you know who to give the money to do the specialist thing, then they can give you.
So do you know what you want the end result to look like from that £3,000?
Yes.
I'm listening.
I would like to make sure that we are seen as a very friendly, approachable, reputable business, branding both me and my partner as the face of the company and the people to go to, the people that they can trust to give their hard-earned money to in order to find deals for them.
So could you not just do that yourself using Facebook, doing Facebook Live videos of deals that you've done, putting content on LinkedIn? You could do that all for free.
Some of it definitely, yeah, and we have done some content marketing ourselves. However, at the moment we've only sold 8 deals, and the money that we're selling them for isn't as high as I think that we've got the potential. I think the deals are great, but if you aren't seen as an expert in the industry, if you aren't seen as approachable, trusting...
Yeah, I totally get all that.
Yeah.
And you think that £3,000 is going to make that happen?
I think it's going to show people what...
I think it won't even scratch the sides.
Okay.
I think you've underestimated how difficult it is to find investors.
Yes.
I think you've underestimated how difficult it is to get them investors to know, like and trust you. A big thing about property sourcing is people have to know, like and trust you.
Yeah.
You've got this great idea of starting up a sourcing business, which is fantastic, but you don't know the fundamentals, you don't know the basics, and that's worrying. And I don't think at this stage you need to be going any further with this until you've found out and understood what the compliance is. You're essentially trading as an estate agent, you need to act accordingly. So I'm an investor, I've bought a property from Ben Abbey or Deaton Property, whoever you're calling yourself today, and the property goes wrong. What happens? I'm an unhappy investor now. I've given you money, you've not fulfilled your end of the bargain. What happens?
It would depend on what has gone wrong and why it's gone wrong, but in most cases when we have had some deals fall through for various reasons, we've just completely refunded the investor without any questions asked. We're not bothered about keeping the money, we want to keep the reputation and the business, and with the people that we have refunded, they have then come back to us and bought a different deal instead.
Okay, how many deals have you sold so far to date?
8 successfully through our company.
If you scroll to the final page, the conclusion, you'll see the actual figures there.
That says thank you for considering my business plan.
Next one.
That's strengths and
There you go,
weaknesses.
the conclusion.
Right.
How much on video marketing?
Video marketing, I estimated £7,000, which was to launch.
Walk me through that £7,000, but I want you to do it in 30 seconds.
Okay, so £150 per video, one video every week for the year.
So you're going to use Samuel's £20,000 to start building your own portfolio.
That's based on another kind of strategy in the business.
So why don't you put this is the problem. I think your business plan's unclear.
Okay.
Are you doing sourcing? Are you building your own property investments?
We're doing sourcing to develop cash flow, which we can then put
But
into our own
you're
projects.
using £9,000 of our £20,000 to start 3 or 4 lease option agreements. So you're actually only using £11,000 of our money for this.
Yeah.
So this business plan is going to take £11,000. £9,000.
Would give a return of 480% though.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point being is we're giving you £20,000 to start this business plan.
Yeah.
You're now spending £9,000 of it to do your own little thing. Can you see the conflict there?
Sure. With 2,000 of that there is towards marketing and developing leads that we can chase up, which will be for our deal sourcing company and for our own portfolio. It's going to be a separate company though, so in a sense it's a business.
Whoa,
still.
hold on. What's going to be a separate business? Lease option agreements?
Yeah.
So then why is it in this business plan? Because if that's a separate company, it should have its own business plan.
Okay.
This is for your sourcing business. This is for Ben and Abbey property sourcing. So in reality, you only need £11,000. You don't need £9,000.
Well,
I think you're actually being very cheeky taking this £9,000 and using it for your own good.
Okay.
£11,000 is for the sourcing business, and I think that's all you need.
Russell told me that I didn't have enough just doing it for a sourcing company. So to
I don't
my
get
cash flow and what I should do next.
Okay, I don't get why you don't put all of the money into your sourcing business and make that phenomenal, and then use the cash that generates to fund your own property portfolio.
Yeah.
That's where I think there's a fundamental flaw with this property, this business plan. What do you think the return on investment is going to be in the first year?
480%.
Abby, I love your optimism. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Right, so your product one, money in, money out, gives a fixed return of 12%. Guaranteed?
Again, as I say, it's a guaranteed fixed return, but should the property not refinance out at the value we would expect, then the investor would receive as much money as they could get back in the first stage. And then the exit strategy is any money left in the property, they would continue to receive 10% on that per annum.
But they don't own the property?
They don't own the property.
So what are they investing in?
They're investing their money to get a return. So if they invest...
So you're a finance house?
My perspective was that it's investing into property and learning how... So I'll tell you what I'm struggling with, Anthony, is that if you buy a property, you buy a property and you've got an asset. If you make an investment in a company or investing in shares, if you're doing a financial vehicle, then is that not financial under the FCA, Financial Control Authority? And therefore, what investment vehicle is it? I'm struggling to understand because there's no ownership of the property. So I'm really struggling with that. Right, okay.
Can you help me? Can you clarify that?
Could you just repeat that for me?
Is there anywhere in here where I can see the breakdown of what you're going to use Samuel's money for?
It's in the financing.
So which section? Because there's 12 pages for the financing.
It starts at number 16.
So page 16.
Pen ink dry, business plan scuppered, but who'll face the chop in the boardroom?
So this is the semi-finals. So after this, there'll only be 2 people. We've gone over your business plans. Rex and James have gone over your business plans. How do you guys think you did?
I thought I did well. I've never done a business plan before, so I was quite proud of what I came up with and how I presented myself.
Okay. Anthony?
I think my business plan's got great potential to produce the numbers it says in there, and I think it's a good overall business and product.
Do you think James liked your business plan?
I don't think James gave me an opportunity to present it in the correct manner.
Okay. So you'll be able to do that tonight, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. How did you do, John?
I think it went okay. I do think that James highlighted certain points which were quite useful and I would take on in the future.
What was the biggest point?
The biggest point was the amount I was sort of spending on education and sort of learning how to sell and those kind of things.
You want £20,000 of my money to spend £1,000 on hotels?
It would be sort of travel costs. It would
How
be
do
travel costs.
you think I feel about you saying I want £20,000 and £1,000 of it I want to spend on hotels? How do you think that makes me feel?
But it would be
for a holiday as well.
No. Hotels as in hotels for staying after going to networking events, staying over if I'm going travelling round further afield from where my home.
Okay. Ricky, what do you think James thought of you?
I think he thought I could have used the 20 grand to invest.
What do you think he thought of you as a person? As a businessman?
As a businessman, probably...
Do you think he thought you were good or do you think he thought you were bad?
Well, I'd like to think he thought I was good.
No, he thought you were terrible. He thought you were terrible. Why do you think he thought you were... He's worth 16 million. Why do you think he thought you were a terrible businessman?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is I was sat there looking him dead in the eye, taking on what he was saying, and I was confident with my plan.
Right. So you think you did great?
I think my idea is a good idea.
You did terrible.
Okay.
Hannah, how do you think you did?
I thought I did okay. I thought I answered every question that he had. I think that the questions that he did have, I gave him the answers that he wanted. I was quite pleased with with my question with him.
What do you think James thought of you and your plan?
I think he thought my plan was quite risky.
Right.
He did question why I didn't go straight into buy-to-lets, but I think I gave him a reasonable explanation about the reason why I didn't and cash flow.
Do you think your business plan is good?
I think my business plan is good. I think it can be tweaked in certain areas to be made better, but I think the actual foundation is good, yeah.
I think my business plan's good. I think it's something that I have been wanting to do for a while, but not having the funds to back it up. And I think that, yes, there are certain points that I'd take on from the people that we've met today and talked about it with.
The majority of the money you requested was for branding and marketing. How can you justify that?
It was 3,000 out of 20, so.
Anthony wants to spend £7,000 on videos. How can you justify that, Anthony? Do you know when I started my business, do you think I spent a penny on videos? I built up 10,000 followers on YouTube on my phone. Have you even done a video?
I've put some videos.
How many videos have you put out?
7.
7 videos?
Yeah.
On YouTube? Mm-hmm. On YouTube?
Oh, sorry, 2 on YouTube.
So you put 2 videos out on YouTube, and now you want, and you said £150 a pop per video. Where did you get that quote from?
So I spoke to a videographer, and he said that.
Well, you just rang one up, and like, Anthony, if that was your money, your £20,000, would you really spend £150 a week on getting a video done, or would you just shoot it on your phone?
I'd probably shoot it on my phone.
Of course. So why do you think, because it's my money, you can spend it on a videographer that you just picked up off Google? First person you spoke to.
I wanted to use the money to invest it in...
No, the truth is, you don't know what you're going to invest the money in. You don't have any idea. And in fact, most of you are just clutching at straws, trying to think of stuff. Oh, what can I spend this 20 grand on? Well, maybe I could throw a few grand on Infusionsoft. £3,000 on Infusionsoft. It's ridiculous. Is that not ridiculous?
I can see where you're coming from.
No, not you can see where I'm coming from. Why would you not use MailChimp, which is free? Why do you want to use Infusionsoft when you're just starting out? It's beyond me.
Thing is, if it was your money, you wouldn't be doing that. If it was your hard-earned £20,000, you would be starting with whatever's free. So Anthony, you'd be using your phone. You'd be using MailChimp.
That's what it is.
Did you have a problem trying to spend the £20,000? Was that tricky?
What I didn't want to do was to put the £20,000 into one buy-to-let property.
I think you'd have been better to do that than say £7,000 on videos.
In hindsight, I see that. So the return I would have got from one buy-to-let property would have meant that in 9 months' time I would have been able to refinance it and potentially take that money back out. What I wanted to do was to grow my business quicker and to buy more houses.
By spending £7,000 over a 12-month period doing a weekly video. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Are you stupid? You're not stupid. You're an intelligent guy. You've had like 4 days to do this business plan. What were you thinking?
I was thinking if I spent the money on more expensive marketing tools, I would be able to grow my brand.
Well, that's not how business works, I'm afraid. It's just not how business works, and I think that's a schoolboy error. Alistair, what do you use for your sourcing business, which is the largest in the UK?
I now use Infusionsoft, but not until I was at a point where my business could sustain it. When I started, I was using all clients, and I was using all clients up until about 2 months ago.
So 2 months ago, you started using Infusionsoft. You started a few months ago. It just blows my mind. And the crazy thing is, I was really looking forward to this boardroom. I was thinking, I can't wait to go over the business plans. They're going to be great. I really want to give someone a break. I really want to give someone £20,000 that deserves it. But now I'm just left looking at the business plans thinking they're a bloody disgrace.
What's funny, John? I notice you keep smirking.
Nothing. Just.
What do you think, John?
I do think that perhaps I should put more thought into it.
Yeah, I think so.
You're a smart lad. It was
John, why are you even here?
To try and obviously grow my business and grow my brand and kind of thing.
I keep hearing this. People want to build their brand with Samuel's money.
But you don't need expensive video equipment to start growing your brand. When I started growing my brand, I used an iPhone and I used iMovie Maker, which is free. I used Facebook Organic. I put content out there. I vlogged what I was doing. That's how I got to where I'm at. I didn't piss someone's money up the wall, spending expensive, extortionate amounts on Infusionsoft and videographers. It's just insane. And Ricky, you were all over the place. James was appalled at your business plan. Where's your money going to go?
My money
after today's conversation, I'll rethink about the money.
Yeah. Where's it going to go then?
It's going to go not on Infusionsoft.
Right.
I'll go for...
you don't even know. I'm saying, I've got a cheque for £20,000, you've got this idea. Do you need the money to do that business?
To generate more cash flow.
No, do you need the money to set that business up? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Why do you need... All right, well, what do you need the money for then?
For speed of growth, like...
what are you going to spend the money on? £20,000 in your pocket tomorrow, what are you going to spend it on?
I mean, there will be marketing involved, because we have to reach clients.
Okay, so how much of it are you going to spend on marketing?
Maybe a few £1,000s.
Maybe a few £1,000, a little bit of marketing. It's £20,000. So, okay, £3,000 on marketing, then what are you going to do with the £17,000?
I've got the ongoing starting costs throughout the year, like a professional accountant that knows about the property industry.
But the thing is, with an accountant, you pay an accountant once you've made money, and then you pay them to do your books at the end of the year.
The channel manager's going to need paying as well.
Is that a monthly thing?
Yep.
Well, you said you need money to start the business, and you're giving me ongoing costs, like accountancy costs.
The channel manager's
You're
going to...
full of BS, mate. You don't need the £20,000 to start the business. What are you going to do? Start the business anyway, and then use the £20,000 to go to Barbados for a few weeks. Is that your plan?
No.
Well, what's your plan then? Or do you not have a plan? Quite frankly, either you're an idiot or you're a liar. Which one is it?
Not any of them.
Okay. Am I an idiot then?
No, you're not an idiot.
Well, help me out then.
I feel like
you told me that you need £20,000 to start the business, and then when I say, okay, well, what for? You haven't got a clue.
Okay, I feel like my business plan, like money aside for the minute, the business plan, there's a gap in the market for this business.
Okay, so what are you going to spend the £20,000 on?
But I can't give you exact figures now.
You don't know when you've had 3-4 days to work that out. Can you see why I'm struggling here?
I can see.
Ricky, you're evicted. Off you go.
I feel like it's the wrong decision.
Okay, well, you had your opportunity, so off you go. John, what are you going to do with the £20,000?
So my aim was to set up a sourcing company.
What do you mean set up a sourcing company?
Well, I would set up a company where I would source properties for investors.
I know what it means. I'm asking where the money would go.
So the money would go into lead generation. It would go into lead generation. Obviously, you can do a lot of things for free in that I can go around to estate agents, I can do viewing stuff like that.
I set my sourcing company up with £2,000.
One of the biggest sourcing companies in the UK.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with your £20,000?
I was going to use with the lead generation money, send out, do like a mailing campaign of direct to vendor letters.
You don't need money to do a mailing campaign. You need to work. You need to collect business cards. You need to put them on a free CRM system like MailChimp.
I meant like sending direct to vendor letters in the sort of sense.
So you're going to spend £20,000?
Not all of that.
All right. How much are you going to spend on letters?
On letters, it was meant to be 1,500 in doing 4,000.
So what's
letters.
the bulk of the money going to go towards? The £20,000?
The bulk of the money.
Give me the biggest percentage thing.
Was going to go towards education and learning about business.
Sounds like he needs that. To be honest.
It does. John, can you see why I'm struggling?
When I spoke to James earlier, he did point me in that kind of direction that perhaps wasn't a good idea.
So tell me now, what are you going to do?
As an initial investment, I wouldn't spend that. I wouldn't spend the £10,000 on the education.
What would you spend the majority of the £20,000 on? You need to give me a good answer in order to get through.
The majority would be spent on setting up the sourcing company.
Well, it doesn't cost more than £1,500 or so to do that. John, you haven't got a clue what you'd spend it on. And to be honest, I don't feel comfortable giving my £20,000 over to somebody who hasn't got a clue. And when I ask, what's the bulk of the money going to go towards, say something that's going to cost maybe £1,500, it doesn't really fill me with confidence.
Do you know what I feel? I feel that they've tried to answer with things that they think that we want to hear, and that if we actually gave John £20,000, he probably would spend it on a property.
John, what would you spend £20,000 on?
I would spend I would spend £10,000 on setting up the sourcing company.
Doesn't cost £10,000. John, you're evicted.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you know the annoying thing is if it was your personal money, you would all change your business plan. You would all change what you're going to do, because when you start a business, you start a business with as little money as possible, not just willy-nilly blowing 20 grand.
Only 2 of you are going to get through. There's 3 of you sat here now.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
In terms of my plan, I know that in a sense I'm putting quite a lot of my eggs in one basket, but what I would say is that I also have a JV partner as well, potentially, that's willing to go in on this deal with me and front some of the cash.
I like your plan.
I like your plan.
I think that you've took on board, when we spoke at the beginning, you took on board the advice. I think you're going to earn the money back pretty quickly. So even if it changes, I don't think it's pretty safe.
Your plan's better than their 2 plans. Now, I'm not saying that you're necessarily a stronger candidate.
Sure.
Anthony's done some great things.
Yep.
With the refurb, fantastic.
He did.
Abby's shown great leadership skills that
Yep.
you haven't really shown, maybe. But with this business plan, yours is the strongest. And I want to be investing my £20,000 for someone who has a strong business plan, where I know the money. I'm an investor. Although the £20,000 is a gift, I want to see a return on that, in the sense of you doing really well. And I think that you will, from your business plan. You've not changed your business plan. So I think, Hannah, I think you're safe to go through to the finalists. So you can go back to the house.
Thank you.
There's £20,000 on the line here.
I understand.
You're not fighting for your corner. There's no passion in you. Do you actually want this?
I feel like I'm
How
the
much do you want
strongest
this
candidate.
£20,000?
I've spent 3 days over this weekend really motivated, level-headed. I know that there's been errors in the business plan. Yeah, over these 3 days.
Yeah, when you were able to not work as a team and lock yourself in your room, you've been level-headed. But when you're working as a team, you've been shouting at people, you've been getting emotional.
For this task, I have been the strongest candidate over the weekend because other people have been complaining, have been wanting to give me a towel.
Why are you stronger than Anthony?
Because he specifically has been complaining, saying that he didn't want to do this anymore, saying that he didn't care about it anymore.
Did you? So Abby's a liar.
No, I said the task was difficult, and I was struggling to write the business plan, which I was, because
you didn't care, you didn't want to do it.
I didn't say I didn't care.
Did you say
want
that?
to do it.
Yeah. He said he just wanted to go home.
And
I don't want to work with a liar.
I don't like anyone that lies.
The reason why I should get through over Abby is because I know my business plan will produce results. I know that I can purchase properties, but investing in this strategy, I know I can find investors because I have done it. I know I can raise finance. I know I will be able to get a return.
Then why do you need the £20,000?
Because I wanted to put the money into building properties quicker, to having an asset-rich portfolio. Because at the minute I have 2 properties and I want to grow that quicker.
You told me you had 1 property.
I've got 1 which I've purchased as the buy, refurbish, refinance property, but I have another property.
Okay.
I know my plan will work because this strategy...
I'm not convinced.
What would you like me to do to convince you?
I'm not going to spoon feed you, buddy.
I'm not convinced based on what he said in the boardroom. It does sound quite messy. I don't really understand
Do you just jump on the bandwagon?
Do you understand the buy, refurbish, refinance strategy?
Yeah.
Do you understand how I'm going to put my money into a property? So tell me why it wouldn't work.
How are you going to escalate that into a bigger business?
It's simple. If an investor invests into one of my products, I'll take that money, I'll buy a property, I'll refurbish the property, I'll refinance it and give them their money back. I'll get another investor and do the same thing again.
You can't count on refinancing a property though, so how
So I have an exit strategy. If the property doesn't refinance out of the value I expect it of, then the investor gets an option, 2 options. They can leave their money in for 3 years and gain capital uplift on the property, or they can get a 10% return on the remaining money in the property until the money's paid back. It's a safe investment for an investor because they're going to get a great return when I do all the work. And at the end of it, I end up with a portfolio of houses.
So my strategy is about building the trust in terms of the business that we already run, but getting more deals, more cash flow, and aiming at a very high income in which the return on your investment, your money is 480%.
You're already sourcing deals successfully.
We've sold 8 in 10 weeks. But we've also had like 10 deals fall through.
Okay, but that's not going to change.
Deals fall through. I run one of the biggest source companies in the UK, and I have deals fall through regular.
Listen, you've got your system set up, you're compliant, yes?
We don't have all the systems that we'd like set up, but
You're
yes, we are compliant. Yes,
You've
we are
got your
compliant.
CRM system set up that works and does the job.
Yeah.
You're selling deals and sourcing deals already.
That's why I wanted to put half the money into the company and half into lease options to build more cash flow to recycle. And
But
put
lease
into,
options, the whole point of a lease option is that you don't need money to buy a lease option.
Yeah, but a lot of
So
them do
everything
end
that
up
you're
needing
telling me, no,
refurbing.
everything that you're telling me that you need my money for, you don't need money for. You don't need money for lease options. You don't need money for a deal sourcing company because you've already got compliance stuff. I'm
feel
just
that's
struggling
Yeah.
to really work out exactly what you're going to do.
I feel that's the same for Anthony as well.
How is it the same for Anthony? Anthony's going to invest it into a property, which is going to pull the money back out.
But in his business plan, all the money was going onto things that
And
were
now
quite
he's
similar to
realised it
mine.
was a stupid mistake and he's not going to do that anymore. What are you going to do different?
Well, I'm definitely going to do several things different based on what I've been told, such as not spending as much on the branding.
So what are you going to spend the £20,000 on right now?
Well, my original plan was to go down.
I don't care about your original
Okay.
plan, we care about right now.
I feel like lease options would still be a strong. They're more stable than rent to rent, and you get the
Yeah.
option of obviously buying them
Okay, so
and
what are you
building
going
a
to spend the
portfolio.
£20,000 on right now?
Lease options cost at least $1,500 to get up and running,
Yep.
but then there's always costs associated like a rent to rent, such as furniture or sprucing up the property
But
to be
can't
able
you
to
just sell
maximise
a
it.
deal for £2,000 and then use that to then pay for your lease option?
For our deals that we're selling, that is our only income.
Okay.
So, and some of the deals that we've sold have been sold that other investors have found us. So we've split the profit.
Okay.
So
So maybe you just need to look a little bit harder on the business and get to networking events and be a bit more thingy on Facebook. Maybe that's what you need to do.
Is that a case of you're trying to do too many things? Because I've always said this, be a master of one instead of jack of all trades. So Anthony's strategy is buy refurbished friends, that's his one strategy. It seems to me that you're trying to do
I don't think that you need my £20,000 to be successful in business. I think you've got a successful sourcing company, you've got the skill to do lease option agreements. I don't think you need my money, and for that reason, you're evicted. Anthony, you've changed your business plan massively. Hannah's a strong candidate. You better damn well prove yourself that you can invest this money well. Off you go.
It is what it is. Super grateful for having an opportunity to be here. I've learned so much from being here, got so much done. I know what I've got to do when I get back, hit the ground running. And again, just super grateful for having an opportunity to show what I've got, make myself vulnerable, and just give it everything I have.
I feel I gave it my best shot. I gave it everything I had. I got to the boardroom. After some of the meetings today we had, I wasn't feeling 100% confident. I think the two best people have gone through, to be honest. Having spoke to them about their business plans and that kind of thing. I tried my hardest and there's nothing more I could really have done with it.
Our business plans got absolutely ripped apart. I do feel like some of the advice we were given on how to write our business plan wasn't the best advice, so I went along with that and then I got pulled apart for why I did it. But never mind, I answered all the questions that they gave me, I held my own in there, and it wasn't good enough. But
Next time on The Eviction. 2 candidates remain as we head into the final. Both Hannah and Anthony are one step away from a £20,000 tax-free windfall. Tune in next time for the final of The Eviction.
There has been £20,000 transferred into